Hi, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Welcome to your July 2022 horoscope. My name is Cailin, and today I'm going to be covering the major transits for the month ahead using tropical astrology and the whole sign system. If you're only going to watch one horoscope for July, I would recommend that you watch your ascendant sign horoscope, otherwise known as your rising sign. If you do have time to watch your sun and moon sign as well, I would do so. And the reason for that is watching all three will give you a very well-rounded idea of what you can expect for the month ahead. Your rising sign horoscope will tell you more about your life overall, so it is the most accurate horoscope, whereas the sun sign horoscope will pertain more to your life goals and your career, and your moon sign horoscope will tell you more about your property and living circumstances, your family and relationships, and your emotional health and well-being. So now let's get into your reading. On the 2nd of July, Mars in Aries in your 7th house is going to make a square to Pluto in Capricorn in your 4th house, and that will be at 27 degrees. If you can cast your mind back to around the 3rd of March, this will give you an indication of what themes may be coming up again for you at the beginning of July. And that is because on the 3rd of March, Mars and Pluto formed a conjunction at 27 degrees in Capricorn. So this is actually the first square that we are seeing since then. Mars and Pluto squares and hard aspects are not to be feared. Just so you guys know, I have been experiencing transit Pluto opposite my Mars for like the last 2 years, and nothing terrible has happened to me. So I just want to put your mind at ease early in the reading. So essentially, this can see you reclaiming your power and not allowing yourself to be controlled by another person or another thing. And on a different level, this can really see you reframing what you think has control over you. So let's just break down what the 4th house and the 7th house represent. First of all, the 4th house represents your family, and it also represents your property and living circumstances and your emotional health as well, like your emotional needs, your emotional happiness. And so with the 7th house, from here, we can see all of your personal one-to-one relationships, whether these are with your significant other, your spouse, a business partner, or even client relationships and close personal friendships. So basically, this can see you experiencing some sort of inner conflict between one or more of your personal relationships and your family, your living circumstances, or perhaps your emotional needs. So it's kind of like you are experiencing a tug of war between two things, people, forces that aren't really playing nicely together. So, at worst, you could be arguing with your significant other, or maybe even with a friend or your business partner about your family, about property, whether this is where you're living or where to set up an office. On a different level, this could see you arguing with them about mutual resources as represented by Pluto. Now, you could even just be arguing with your partner about not feeling happy in the home. Maybe you want them to move in with you, or maybe you want to move out of your family home and in together with your partner, and you're receiving a bit of pushback from your family. Now, on a different level, you can actually have your significant other or a friend help you to take action to break free from your current set of living circumstances. Or perhaps you have a very controlling family, or maybe you don't live with your family. Maybe it's just your current set of living circumstances that you are feeling basically a lot of pressure to change, and maybe there's someone who's actually helping you to initiate these changes or this relocation process. On a deeper level, and I suppose at more of an internal level, you could be experiencing some sort of um, inner state of conflict between what kind of relationship you want to be in, what your preferences are, what you think your family would expect. On a different note, this can basically just see you breaking free from any sort of controlling situation which has limited your ability to be with who you want, live where you want, and you may just be addressing at a psychological level why you're not happy. Maybe you're unhappy with your partner. You could be arguing with your significant other about where you should be living, about your family, about starting a family, or about expanding your family. So obviously it's a little bit heavy for the first transit of the month, but I promise things do get better. Now, on the 5th of July, Mars will enter the sign of Taurus, which means it will be transiting your 8th house. So, wherever Mars goes, this is where we can be pursuing something, taking action, being assertive, in some instances, being aggressive. We may experience a challenge or a hardship, and Mars spends about 6 to 7 or 8 weeks in a sign on average when it is direct in motion. So it takes 2 years for Mars to do a full orbit through all 12 signs. So with Mars being in your 8th house, this can see you pursuing some sort of mutual resource or resources. So maybe you are wanting to pursue alimony money or child support, or perhaps you are staking a claim for an inheritance which you believe is rightfully yours, or if there is an inheritance which is on its way, there may be some hoops for you to jump through first. And some of you may just be working on putting together your tax return or dealing with certain taxes. This is a time where you can be spending money on these things. So Mars through one of the three money houses, which is the 2nd, 11th, and 8th, can see you just, spending a bit of cashola. Now, your significant other's financial situation may change. On one hand, they could be spending a lot of their own money, and this could be impacting you in turn. They could be focused on generating a new stream of income or changing their financial situation, which again could impact you. Now, you may actually be financially supporting another person. And I'm saying this because Mars rules over your 2nd house. So that's your own personal finances and income. And Mars also rules over your 7th house, which represents your one-on-one relationships. So maybe you are helping someone out financially speaking. On a different level, the 8th house represents deep healing, therapy, and the occult. So when Mars transits the 8th house, this is when we can have psychological breakthroughs. This is when we can be extremely assertive when it comes to seeing a psychologist, getting to the root cause of a problem, doing some deep healing, doing some deep research. So you can be quite dogged in your approach. Now, like I said, the 8th house rules over the occult. So it could be that you are studying astrology or just delving deeper into occult topics like tarot, numerology, Reiki, and so on and so forth. Now, the 8th house is connected to surgery. So there could be a surgery that you are pursuing or planning to have during this period of time. On a different level, the 8th house represents addictions and fears. So you could be doing everything you can in your power to overcome a fear or an addiction. And you can actually be very successful in cutting out or removing an addiction or a fear from your life. The reason why I'm saying cutting out is because Mars rules over sharp objects. So even in a figurative sense, the approach of Mars is to just go in with like a tool or a weapon and just remove this thing from us. And the eighth house, like I said, rules over fears and traumas. And it is a house which represents not just deep healing, but miracles as well. So there could be like a sudden turnaround in one or more of the above topics. It does represent reversals as well. So, on one hand, you could be experiencing like a sudden windfall of money. So this could come through your partner. Okay. But on the other hand, you may have to spend a lot of money in one go, just to give you the LIBRA either side of the scale perspective on that. Now, on the 13th of July, Venus in Gemini in your ninth house will make a trine to Saturn in Aquarius in your fifth house at 24 degrees. Venus is your ruling planet. So, wherever Venus goes, whatever Venus is doing, this represents you and what you're doing and what actions you are taking. So, with this transit, it's a very beneficial transit. It's very harmonious in nature. It can bring blessings. And I'm saying this because trines represent the energy of Jupiter. So this can be a blessing, good luck, fortune, prosperity, wealth, and abundance, and so on and so forth. So for those of you who have children, one of your children, or more, I guess, could be entering into a committed relationship. And this could be something which is very secure, something that makes them very happy. It could be with someone who is a bit older, but this relationship would be very grounding for your child if it's happening around this time. On a different level, they could be starting their own business. And by the way, I'm saying this because the ninth house is the fifth house from your fifth house. So it's like your child's fifth house. I hope that makes sense. Now, like I said, they could be starting their own business, or if your child has been a bit of a party goer in the past, or if they struggle with gambling, this can see them reining in how much money they are spending. They could be, winding down on the party front, or even just with risk taking behavior in general. So that's for those of you who have children who are at an age where they'd be doing that stuff. Nonetheless, on the romantic front, because the fifth house is connected to romance, this can see those of you who are in a relationship receiving help or support from your significant other. And this could allow you to pursue a travel opportunity, a higher education opportunity, or maybe they are supporting you in exploring certain beliefs or going on an adventure or a journey of sorts. Now, some of you could actually be forming a committed relationship with someone who is maybe older. You could meet them overseas, or they could be of a different cultural background to you. Now, the fifth house represents owning your own business. So you could finally have enough stability in your business to travel, to go on an adventure, to pursue some sort of education. Maybe you're starting to see the potential of your business now that it has a more solid foundation, or some of you could be taking your business to an international level. On a different note, the fifth house is connected to authorship, and the ninth house is connected to publishing. And of course, Venus is a very creative planet, aside from it being your chart ruler. So there could be a solid start that you have made on writing a book. Maybe you have some sort of official or formal commitment or contract from someone who wants to publish your writing. And on a different note, the fifth house represents your hobbies and passions. So for some of you, this could simply see you mastering something enough in terms of like a skill or a talent or a hobby for you to see the opportunity in it, or to value it and what it brings to you. Lastly, with this transit, I know I've said lastly twice now, but the fifth house represents creativity, and Saturn here can ordinarily represent a blockage or an inaccessibility to that creativity. But because it's trining you with your planet being Venus, this can see you suddenly experiencing a steady flow of creativity, or maybe you're able to somehow turn some sort of hardship or difficult situation that you've been in into a creative opportunity, or an opportunity for you to expand your horizons further. Now, on the 17th/18th of July, your ruling planet Venus is going to enter the sign of Cancer. Sorry, I just had a total blank for a moment. Anyway, Venus will be in Cancer in your 10th house, and it will be there until the 11th of August. So, when Venus is in the 10th house, this is like your time to shine. Okay, so you can make connections with people in high places. Your reputation or your status can be looked upon favorably. You can receive a positive change here. Someone could be speaking very highly of you, who is in a position of authority. Maybe it's your boss, maybe it's someone who has a lot of sway or credibility. Now, this could see you enjoying the work that you're doing, enjoying your career. This is a good time for you to go public, so to speak, with a relationship that you are in. Now, this could be a romantic relationship that you are looking to announce, or this could even be like a business partnership, or someone that you are going to be affiliated with or associate with in a business sense. On a different note, if you need to address address an audience in a public setting, or put yourself out there in some way, you will be received very favorably during this period of time. And the 10th house represents our ability to attract attention. So you can attract the attention of a person that you're wanting to notice you during this period of time. And lastly, you may receive praise or compliments from your boss, or from a person who's in a position of leadership. Now, on the 28th/29th of July, depending where you live in the world, Jupiter is going to station retrograde in the sign of Aries, and it will station retrograde at 8 degrees, and this will be in your seventh house. So Jupiter has been in Aries in your seventh house since the 10th of May. So whatever new relationships have started around that time, or if there is someone or connection that you have been pursuing around this period of time, this may be a period of time where you start doubling down on trying to pursue this. There may be an opportunity for you to work on expanding your clientele, or working on landing a really big opportunity in a work capacity. And I'm saying that because Jupiter rules over your sixth house. So your sixth house is Pisces, and the sixth house represents your work. And also Jupiter rules over your third house, which represents collaborating. It's a business house, it's a social house, and it represents working in small teams as well. So you could be working on pursuing a contract which would lead you to a really desirable work opportunity. Maybe you're working on closing an international deal with a person from a foreign country or from a different cultural background to you. And when Jupiter, or when any planet is retrograde, basically we need to work a lot harder in order to reap the rewards or the benefits. So if you're wanting to pursue a contract, if you're wanting to land a big client, if you're wanting to form a romantic partnership or a business partnership or even a friendship, it may take you more work than would normally be required. So basically, on the romantic level, with Jupiter representing freedom and liberation, some of you may be trying to pursue freeing yourself from a relationship. And the same could be said from a business partnership. This could involve the law, some legal aspects. Maybe you have to work with lawyers to basically see the scope of what would be required in a legal sense for you to dissolve this connection and be free of this partnership. And on a different note, you and your significant other may be taking a break, or one of you may be traveling during this period of time, and uh, this could result in a bit of an imbalance. So, for example, maybe one of you is really keen on traveling, but the other one is not so keen. I just want to say, though, that Jupiter is the planet which brings luck and abundance and wealth and blessings and opportunities. So when it is in our seventh house, this makes a direct opposition to you. So as Libra sun, moon, or rising, you're really going to be working hard to expand your horizons, take a relationship to the next level, whether that is forming a committed relationship with them or being free of your committed relationship. In terms of the retrograde period, it's going to be retrograde until the 23rd of November, I beg your pardon, and then it's going to re-enter the sign of Aries on the 20th of December. So whatever it is that you're trying to do within the context of your one-on-one personal relationships, you can have success in something that you've already initiated over the last 2 months, pretty much within the first quarter of next year, okay, or at the very least, right before Christmas. Now, the last transit for the month will be the Uranus, North Node, and Mars conjunction in the sign of Taurus in your 8th house. And this is actually one of the most exciting conjunctions, transits for the whole of 2022. So Uranus and the North Node only form a conjunction once every 15 to 16 years. This one will take place at 18 degrees Taurus, as I mentioned, but then we'll have Mars at 17 degrees. So essentially, all three planets, and the North Node is not a planet, nevertheless, Uranus, the North Node, and Mars all carry this innovative, pioneering, exploratory, and kind of experimental energy. And also, Uranus and the North Node are connected to technology or technological advancements, as well as inventions and innovations. So it's really about something that is novel and something that is new. And then we have Mars, which is also connected to pioneering, being of a pioneering energy or spirit, breaking new ground, and Mars rules over engineering. So because this is taking place in the 8th house, and because Uranus rules over your 5th house, this can see you experiencing a sudden download of information when it comes to your business or a business opportunity or idea. So you could be looking at starting your own business, a new business. You could be expanding your current business. And on a different level, you may be innovating something new or inventing something new or experimenting in the following fields. This could be something to do with healing, psychology, psychiatry, the occult, so astrology, tarot, etc., or even something to do with finances and resources as indicated by Taurus. So maybe you're looking at cryptocurrencies, maybe you're looking at the stock market, and some of you could very well be developing a new app, a new website, technology, like I said, a new invention, which can change the nature of the stock market. Maybe you're developing a new astrology app, and some of you could be actually making new scientific discoveries or doing some deep research in an uncharted territory. And I'm saying that because Uranus is the most futuristic planet in astrology, and also Uranus rules over science as well as new inventions, and the 8th house is connected to deep research. So with all of this very potent and excitable and really courageous energy taking place in your 8th house. This can see you just honestly having a sudden spiritual awakening. You can feel like you have a realignment of all your chakras. You could have an opening of certain chakras, so for example your third eye chakra, and some of you may experience deep and profound healing. So this could even be a radical form of healing that you experience, or even that you discover yourself. You could be liberated from a fear. One thing I would say though to watch out for is that the 8th house represents addictions, and the North Node has a very addictive quality or nature to it. So there is a potential here to form a new addiction. And in that way, I would just, remembering that this is a general reading, I would basically warn against trying new, let's say, substances that you have never tried before, because you could form an addiction to it. And in terms of the time frame, like I said, this is the 31st of July, but I would say, plus or minus 2 weeks either side of it. And on a different note, but also sort of going back to what I said about Mars being in Taurus in your 8th house, this could see your mutual resources, or the landscape of your mutual resources, changing. It could be very sudden. Yes, you could receive a large sum of money, but you could have to pay a large sum of money. You may have to start paying child support or alimony money, or you could be successful in now receiving child support money or alimony. And also, there could be some movement here with inheritances. And this could be, it could be that someone passed in your life, and it doesn't have to be during this period of time, by the way. I don't want to freak you guys out, but maybe they passed, let's say, a few months ago, and you really didn't think that you would be included in their will, and now this is being brought to your attention. In any case, this is honestly one of the most exciting transits of the whole year, like I said, and because it is occurring in the sign of Taurus, which is the other Venus-ruled sign, I think that you'll find that this transit will impact you in a very profound way. So definitely pay attention to synchronicities, signs from the universe, repeating numbers, 333, 1111, and so on and so forth. And certainly do be open-minded to seeing astrologers, tarot readers, psychic mediums. I did forget to say that you may find that you have a new intuitive ability or psychic ability, which just, comes out of the blue, and it could really take you by surprise. But then this could be, something that you develop or hone your skills in as we go along. And of course, because this is a new chapter starting, and this cycle represents a new 15-year cycle, it could be that you experience the first glimpse of what this conjunction is going to bring you, but it could take a while to start to unfold in your life. And so, Libra, that's all I have for you for July 2022. If you enjoyed this horoscope and you would like to see more on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Enjoy your month ahead, Libra, and I will see you in August.